Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. It is Thursday, January 23rd, 2020. Keeping this going every single day for the rest of the year, just like I promised you guys. Today I want to talk about two very, very important things. And the first one is going to be something that us Diamondback fans have been dying to hear about and still waiting to hear about for a long time. And that is also for baseball fans because he's a really good pitcher, and that's Robbie Ray. What are we doing with him? What's happening? And we're going to talk about him in a second. And then the other one, and I'm probably going to talk about this first, and it's Mitch Haniger, who just got injured, and he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. So, not the first time, and if you guys remember, two things. One, the Dbacks had him first. Two, he was rumored to be going to Arizona back for Robbie Ray at one point. Let me talk about Mitch Haniger first. If you guys remember, Mike Hazen was hired in October of 2016. Ever since then, our team has been just much better. And his very first trade was who? We traded Gene Segura, who I absolutely loved, okay? And we traded Mitch Haniger, who was up and coming, for Tawan Walker, who was supposed to be the big part of the deal. And he turns out to be just, unfortunately, injury prone. He can never stay healthy. And Ketel Marte, who at that point, as much as I wasn't too sure about Marte, I knew he could have been better than Walker. I even wrote it on their website. But I didn't want Segura to go. But if you remember that was a big thing. And then Zach Curtis was in there at some point too. So let's talk about why trading people at the right time is so important, especially when they're injury prone. If we would have traded Robbie Ray for Mitch Haniger, and I'm sure he's smarter than that, you can see what would have happened. And I think that's another reason why that deal may have not went through, because knowing the way Haniger is. That's one. Two, Robbie Ray isn't healthy himself, right? I get worried about Robbie Ray, and the reason why I want to speak about him today, I want to go through, we've had him ever since 2015, and I want to go through his numbers we're approaching our 6th year with him. I want to go through each number and each ERA and each win percentage that he had, and then you guys can get an idea where we're at. 2015, he was 5-12 with a 3.5 ERA. And he played 23 games for us, okay? 2016, he was 8-15 with a 4.9 ERA, and he played 32 games for us. 2017 was his shining moment, right? He was 15-5 with a 2.8 ERA, and there was no question why we were going to the playoffs too, because he was a big help, right? He pitched 28 games. He got hurt a little bit, could have pitched more, but you can see the potential. After that, 2018, he got hurt. He was 6-2 with his ERA jumped up to 3.9 when he played 24 games. Last year, he was 12-8 with a 4.3 ERA, and he played 33 games. Excuse me, I had cookies. Okay, so his ERA is going up. He keeps getting injured, and I know he had a line drive off his head. That's not part of the injuries that I'm talking about. I'm talking about he has back problems. His oblique, always, I get worried when he throws a pitch. He just seems like, it's the middle of the inning, and you see him like pulling up, And then he walks so many people. He's making, now because of Mike Hazen, he's making around 9.3 million this year. He was supposed to make around 10.8, so they saved money. I'm guessing that we haven't found the deal yet, because I feel like Hazen would have moved it by now. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but if Ray stays healthy, that is a huge thing to Bumgarner, right? Those two at the top of your rotation are really, they both can win you 30-something games combined, can pitch you with a 3 ERA. Great two guys to have at the top of the rotation. I'm be the first one to tell you, I don't know how Robbie Ray will do if he pitches this year. Because I know that if you told me he's going to stay healthy, I would say don't trade him. Right? I'm just worried about that. I'm terrified that he hurts his back, we don't get nothing for him. I know he's not making a ton of money. I just think we can get something now for him more than we could in the middle of the year. That's just how I feel. I'm worried that he gets injured and then we don't get anything for him. That's just one of my sides. And then I got the other side where I say, you know what? This guy, we need a number 2. Because then all the pressure is off guys like Luke Weaver and Mike Leake, Alex Young. and then Zach Gallen, who I love, and I think is going to be the ace soon. But all the pressure's off those guys if they have to be the number 3, 4, and 5. Especially Gallen. Can you imagine that guy as a number 3? It's going to be great. I really don't want Gallen as a number 2. Not yet. I would like to see Bumgarner and Ray. Maybe they split it up, but you get the point what I'm trying to say. I don't know where I feel at this point, but I'm worried. If you looked at the numbers, 3 ERA, then 4.9, then 2, then 3.9, then 4.3. There's so many inconsistencies. If you want to go with a pattern here, he's due for a great year. But I worry. I completely worry about this guy. Mitch Haniger is a perfect example. You can't bank on these guys who keep having problems with every time they turn. He's another guy. He's always swinging. He's hurting himself. And Ray is just like the same guy, but just as a pitcher, always hurting himself with his throwing motion. And then that's another reason I feel like he walks people. He cannot. I don't know if he can't get on top of it or whatever it is. He's just overthrowing. And there's always 5 2/3, right, or 4 2/3, and he's up to already 98 pitches. I'm really worried about the guy. So I want to know what you guys think about Robbie Ray, because it really is a coin toss on what's going to happen. Do you trade him or not? For me, I'll tell you why. It has to be the right trade. You cannot just get rid of him for the sake of just getting rid of the 9-point-something million. There has to be a reason for that. Are you getting Chris Bryant? Are you getting Starling Marte? Or are you doing something for the future? Then do it, right? But if you're doing it for just an okay player or a prospect, I don't think I do it. We have enough prospects. I don't do Robbie Ray for prospects. I do it for a ready player now, or because we're freeing up money for somebody we're gonna get. I just don't see us. It's not worth it. You might as well keep him for the year to see how it turns out. If the return is no good, right? I think this is the big key, because I know for a fact Hazen's been trying to shop Robbie Ray. I don't know if they're worried that Gallen and Weaver and them can't handle behind Bumgarner. I don't know if they just can't find the right trade. But I know I just keep looking and I keep looking. And right now I'm already happy that we didn't trade Robbie Ray for Mitch Haniger. Look what would have happened, right? That would have been awful. That would have been awful right now if we're waiting for an outfielder and boom, he's gone. So it's a really big key to figure out what we're gonna do with Robbie Ray, because I think that is a huge point to the Diamondbacks season. Okay? Again, tell me what you guys think about Robbie Ray. And then I know I didn't mention this in the beginning. I want to talk about Nolan Arenado really quick. The reason I'm mentioning all this stuff about the Diamondbacks and everything, because all that Nolan Arenado, all that, don't buy into that. If they don't, he may start the season, but if they don't win right away, and they're not, he's gone. And it don't make sense for me why they're keeping this guy. They have no chance in winning at all. Not with that pitching staff. No chance at all. They may, if they keep everybody, go 81 and 81. I thought this a couple years ago. I had the Rockies winning. I said, wow, with Freeland and all that stuff, they're going to kill. And look what happened. How they're not winning with that lineup, there's a reason. If nobody can pitch, if Gray can't stay healthy, and Freeland just looked awful, he killed me on my fantasy team last year. So it's very important for the Diamondbacks to jump on this, and this is crucial decisions. Ever since Hazen started, he's been making great moves. He's just been making move after move. Segura is no longer with Seattle. Okay? Tawan Walker is no longer with the Diamondbacks. But Ketel Marte is, and Ketel Marte is our franchise player right now. If he does anything what he did last year, the steal that we got, it's what I'm saying, right? It's so important, but Hazen's not going to do something stupid. He sees it. He just does these wonderful things when he makes these trades. So that's why you probably still see Robbie Ray on the team. That's just one of my things. I think Hazen is just waiting, and if nothing has come up, that's why he's still on the staff. So for us Diamondback fans, I get it. I'm nervous about him too. But if he's healthy, who the hell couldn't use a year like he had in 2017 and give us a 15-win season with a 2-point-something? Him and Bumgarner coming at you, then with Gallen, that'd be a really nice staff. All right, guys, let me know what you're thinking. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.